up, you guys? This is Rob from The Gay Guy Plays, and today on The Daily Grind, we're going to be taking a look at the newest update, Master of the Revenant 23.7.0, which introduces 4 new augments for you guys today. One for Gara, Khora, Octavia, and Wukong. So I figured I would go ahead and read the copy so you guys can get a quick overview as to what to expect, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the simulacrum and just do some quick testing for you guys. So as you can see, straight out of the gate, we have one for Gara, which is Mending Splinters. It's a Splinter Storm augment. For each target affected, Splinter Storm heals 3 health per second. So I'm really curious to see if this one ends up scaling with power strength. We'll figure that out as we play. And more interestingly, I want to see how this is affected by other enemies who are, influenced by this. Because, you can put it on allies and it's kind of like a bitch to maintain them. But if you need more, I guess you would say health over time, if you could toss this on multiple enemies and have that actually boost up your health regeneration, I'm crossing my fingers because that might actually be amazing. Khora, accumulating Whipclaw. This one, I'm feeling real good about this, but I do want to see what else is going on. Hitting 3 enemies will grant a 35% stacking damage bonus to subsequent Whipclaws. Bonus will decay after 10 seconds. This kind of reminds me a little bit of the Wukong Primal Fury one, where every time you killed an enemy, you would get some critical chance. So I'm wondering exactly how far you'll be able to stack the damage bonus. So I'm crossing my fingers that we get to some nice chunky numbers, especially because of the fact that, when you're running a Kavat, you could also get like a lot of crit stuff off of it. I'm excited. We'll see how that one works. Octavia, Conductor. Now this one reactivates the Resonator Augment to command the Resonator to move to your aim point at 150% speed. Now the cool thing about this is I took a look at it in game and it is an Hexis mod. Straight out of the gate, I was like, if this is not an Hexis mod, I'm going to be kind of irritated. However, it definitely is. We can confirm that. So let's see what exactly happens. If it stays, the thing that they don't say is command the Resonator to move to your aim point. But it doesn't say to stay. So we'll figure out if that's a thing. Wukong, allies within 4 meters of the cloud become invisible for 14 seconds. They did mention that this would be broken if your allies move, not if your allies move, but if your allies attacked or use powers or something. So part of me is kind of like, we'll see how that works. I don't think too many people are going to be very, very excited about that. There are some changes when it comes to the UI. It's really not big. Really, it's just like a screen with name your weapon and then like some lines on there. There's also being able to donate multiple resources to decorations in your clan vault, yada yada yada, so on and so forth. Same thing happens to the consigning a pet to the Lotus. A new message box will come up and it looks like it's going to be of the new UI, which is definitely nice. There's some random changes and fixes, nothing too crazy that's going on. So let's just go ahead and jump on into the simulacrum and see how some of these augments play out. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and just jump into some testing, starting off with Gara's Mending Splinters. Now, I'm going to go ahead and toss a list of the factions, the syndicates that you can pick this up in the description box below, just in case you guys are curious. I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't go and check before I started testing, but I wanted to go ahead and show this off to you. Now, after a little bit of play, if I'm gonna be real, I feel a little meh. Like, I'm not super duper excited about this, but you know what? It is what it is. So let's go ahead and toss this on. Now, because of the fact that the number is very, very low, like 3 is a very small number to be using, right? It's not very much on its own. So I'm actually going to let it take a hit. But as you can see here, we're only regenerating 4 points of health. Even with, 145 power strength. Even if you double it, it's only 6 points of health, which is honestly not all that great. Now, the cool thing that I did find, though, is, as you can see right here, so 617 to 625, 633, 641, 649, 657. It does affect enemies that you've hit with it. However, I do have to say it's just not a large enough number, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, in order to kind of warrant a spot in this, if I'm gonna be frank. I think that if anything, I would rather put a couple Arcane Graces on Gara instead, just in order to do that. However, you know, if you wanted to go ahead and, you know, try this out with her, and you can go ahead and toss Splinter Storm on a couple of other enemies, refresh that on yourself, and go ahead and kind of like do that. I mean, you could make that happen and keep her kind of sort of survivable, but legitimately I would rather just stick with some Arcane Graces. This is like what I like to call the ghetto version of Arcane Grace. And personally, I don't necessarily think that it's like all that necessary when it comes to this. I mean, I guess it could be good for the rest of your group mates, but if we're gonna be honest about it, unless you're a really, really tanky group mate, that ally is probably gonna end up dying, because like I said, 3 points of health per second, even if it is affected by power strength. I mean, if you go 200% power strength, you're only gonna get 6 health per second per target that it's on. So either you're gonna have to cast it on a whole bunch of enemies and a whole bunch of allies at once. It's just a little low. The base of it is a little bit low for me. Now let's go ahead and jump into Khora real quick and see exactly what we can do with that. I've been toying around with some Umbral builds on things, so I get a little scared sometimes because I don't remember what I've Umbra'd and what I haven't Umbra'd, but let's go ahead and maybe do... I don't really even have power strength on this thing, so let's go ahead and we can ditch Augur Reach. Ooh, is this my, like, duration? Let's see what happens, and we'll go swap around some mods and see exactly what happens with this one. But as you can see, this one is just 35% stacking damage bonus to supplicant Whipclaws. So let's go and see, because this isn't even about what's the word I want to say, about killing them. It's literally just hitting them. So I'm curious to see exactly how this all plays out. Let's go ahead and hit that. That should keep those enemies knocked down. So right now, we don't have... I think it's got to be 3 or more, right? Is it just 3 or more? Because right now I'm looking at it and I'm not getting any visual meter on my screen saying that what do you call this? Saying that these enemies are being struck. So let's see that. Oh, there you go. So you have to hit 3 or more enemies at once or it does not count. If it's less than 3, then it's not doing anything. But as you can see here, I mean, how far is it going to let me go? Because right now we're at 350. So it looks like it maxes out at 350 per group. So let's do that, which is, to be completely honest with you, 350% damage. That's not bad at all. Now as you can see, it's decaying fairly quickly over time, but what I'm really curious about is to see if power strength is actually going to affect the cap of this ability. And the other thing that I'm curious about is, does this count? Let's see if this potentially counts for Strangledome, because if you've got a bunch of enemies in the Strangledome, technically it hits all of the enemies in there, right? So part of me is kind of like, well, if you're hitting the whole Strangledome, does that mean, like, what does that mean? Does that mean that for every single thing in there, it kind of counts? So as you can see, our max with that was 350%. Hopefully this will make it a little bit higher. Let's see what happens. I don't really want to fuck with it too much, so let's just do 3 like that. I'm going to go ahead and toss on a little ensnare. Action. So it's still 35%. It doesn't seem to be affected by power strength, which is kind of a bummer, I guess you would say. So I'm going to go ahead and see if we can ramp this up just a little bit more. 350. All right, it seems to be holding steady at 350. However, we did have enemies that died there, so let's give that another shot. Let's simulate a couple more of these guys and see exactly what happens. But right now we're at 340. I'm gonna be honest with you, the what is it called, the lessening Like, oh, it looks like it's just straight up capped at 350. Okay. So it looks like it's going to be a hard cap at 350, not affected by power strength. But the last thing that I do want to test out, let me just make sure that I didn't fuck something up, because power drift does have power strength on it, right? So we should have seen at least a little bit of a budge, but just in case, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of Constitution real quick. I really don't want to fuck up my build, but it's okay. I can just look at this in a second. Let's just toss on some like Augur Secrets or something, just to make sure. And I'm gonna go ahead and toss down a Strangledome and see what happens with that. So cross your fingers that it does affect it, because that's a good synergy. You know, you can Strangledome a bunch of enemies, and have them kind of count. So okay, Strangledome seems to be doing it. All right, Strangledome seems to be doing it. So that's kind of exciting. I'm gonna go ahead. 315. 350 is the max. So this does not seem to be affected by power strength whatsoever. And enemies hooked up in the Strangledome do seem to be adding to the amount of enemies that you hit at once. So that's cool. Works with Ensnare, works with the rest of your abilities. So I will say, I definitely think that's a plus. It's just not the biggest plus. All right, so moving down the line, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at Octavia. And let's take a look at what we could put down for her Conductor. I don't know what is missing there. Fantastic, Rob. This is great when you see, the thing is, sometimes it's because I was using the Partition Mallet. So Stretch, I don't think I have Overextended on there, but I think I might have had Augur Reach on there. However, we're gonna go ahead and take out Power Drift real fast, and we're gonna put down Conductor and see exactly what happens. Because what I'm hoping is gonna happen is that when I do this, I'll be able to toss down a mallet. All right, so that's what we're looking for. We're gonna toss that down real quick, and then what I want it to do is I want it to come over here and stay. Will it stay or will it move? And it stays! And it fucking stays. Okay. That I'm feeling. I'm feeling that big time. Okay. Knowing that, because the cool thing about it is because of the fact that you can kind of give it the option to like stay mobile with it. I think I'm cool with that. I really, really do like it. It's kind of like being able to move it around with you. The fact that it's in an Exilus slot, I have to say, is pretty nice. And the big thing about this, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the draw on the I guess you would say the aggression on the ball is much higher than just the standard mallet. Like, I can put down a mallet and they'll still, you know, they'll still try and come after me. Like, they'll still end up trying to shoot me, aside from the mallet occasionally. But if we toss down a little mallet, they definitely go for that fucker. Oh, well, except for that one moment. But if I position down the mallet, bitch, come here. Not only do they follow it, you can kind of keep it in place, and they will be more apt to attack it, because I believe they did some aggression changes, and mallet does have a little bit more of an oomph when it comes to drawing aggression. Or not mallet, what is it called? Yeah, it is, no, mallet is the thing, and then Resonator is the thing that draws the aggression in. So I'm gonna give that a thumbs up if you guys are willing to, like, if you guys are willing to give up your what is it called? If you guys are willing to give up your Exilus slot, you know, depending on really what you have in there, it might be worth putting in. I'm gonna give that. I like that. That one was fairly solid. And then the last one that we're gonna take a look at is Wukong. And to be honest with you, I mean, this one, like, I'm just gonna say it right now. Like, enveloping Cloud is not the way to save Cloudwalker. Like, it just it's just not. Like, this isn't gonna make or break Cloudwalker. Like, Cloudwalker was already, like, maybe, you know, like, you know, that wasn't, like, that's not the thing that's gonna save Cloudwalker, you know? You're not gonna go like, oh, now maybe, just maybe, if that made Cloudwalker, if it made you invisible during the time, because look at that. Where is, like, the Kavat is not gonna help the Kavat. It's not gonna help anybody else. I'm just gonna say a hard pass when it comes down to that. I mean, you're giving up a mod slot. Like, it's not like Wukong's builds are all that intensive as it is. So I can't really say, oh my god, you know, this is gonna wreck his build. It's not, because I mean, it's still gonna, like, keep him alive. But if I'm gonna be honest with you, like, when you're playing Wukong, you're number one. Wait, is this? No, it still is what it is. Okay. Yeah, is it me though? Or does it feel like he kind of moves a little bit faster in there? Hold on, let's try it out. Okay, Kitty, go fuck him up. Go fuck him up. Go fuck him up, Kitty. You know you want to fight him. Yeah, the second that he even goes to attack, it's already terrible. So, I'm gonna give that one a little bit of a thumbs down. That's like, let's be real. Enveloping Cloud was not gonna be the way that you, now maybe if Enveloping Cloud could keep all, like, allies that were in the cloud invisible, maybe, but really that basically takes you out of the game. So I don't really think that helps too much. I don't know. If there are any Wukong mains out there, go ahead and sound off. I already thought the Ash invisibility augment was kind of shitty. And this one just seems shitty as well. So that about does it for me for now. Let me know which of these augments you guys are really interested in. Let me know how you feel about the Gara one specifically. I think the number is just a little too low on the Gara one for that one to really make a difference, right? Am I nuts? Am I crazy? Let me know how you feel on that. And also let me know if you think that, you know, this little upgrade is gonna help Wukong in his Cloudwalker game. Toss that in the comments as well. But that about does it for me for now. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.